But while I was down there, a friend of mine, who I grew up in high school with, and went to Auburn with, he said, "Hey, I want you to come meet my my interim senior pastor in Eufaula, Alabama." And so I went there and met him, and it turns out he was interim there, but he was living in Columbus, and he was with Corporate Chaplains of America. And I thought, well, tell me what that is. And he said, well, we're chaplains in the workplace. We are chaplains for companies. And I said, I never knew that existed. So we got to talking, and we met one day for coffee one morning in Columbus, and he's telling me more about it, and I thought, oh, this is incredible. Never heard of this. Anyway, that began a conversation through 2021 when I was down there, continuing on when I came back here in January of 2019. That continued when I came back here in January of 2020. And we were talking, and they weren't sure. They didn't have any. Corporate Chaplains of America didn't have anybody in the St. Louis area representing them, no chaplains. So since nothing was available, I went to work for a hospice company, hospice chaplaincy. And then things began to progress a little more. And I ended up starting with them full-time in October 2020. Get my numbers right here. In October 2020, I became the first full-time chaplain here. And it was all through that connection made when I went to Georgia, or went to Alabama and Columbus, Georgia, to do hospice training. And I thought, this is great. I'm going to get to go into companies and talk to people, and serve them.
That's awesome. So how does a company find out about corporate chaplains? I mean, I'm in business. I've never even heard of them. Usually is it word of mouth or?
Yeah, a lot of times there's, they can go to, anybody listening can go to chaplain.org, and you can read about it and see some videos and stuff about it. We have about 300 chaplains around the country. We're in every state except Hawaii and Alaska. Hope to be there one day, and I'll volunteer to go to Hawaii. If they want me to move. But we're in every state. There's a lot of ways that it happens. Word of mouth is one. You may have heard of an organization called C12, which is for business owners. There's kind of a business roundtable, and there's there's chapters all over the country. There's a chapter here, and these business leaders are Christian-owned business or CEOs, and they're involved in that. And so they hear about it through that kind of resource. And that's the key, is that the businesses that we are connected to and work with are businesses that want a Christian chaplain in their workplace, and they want us to connect with their employees, and they hope and pray that that there may be some spiritual connection. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But so we go, so they can find out about what we're doing by chaplain.org. There's a lot of word of mouth, things like that. And what we do is we go into the workplace. So I'm connected right now to 12 companies in the St. Louis area. Some of them are based here, and some of them are here as part of a company that's got places all over the country.
Okay.
Like locations. And what they want us to do is care for their people face to face. A lot of companies have employee assistance programs, EAP, so they can pick up the phone and call an 800 number, a toll-free number, and talk to somebody and if they're having a problem or issue. But we are sort of like an EAP in person. We're an employee assistance in-person program. And so every week I visit every one of my companies, and I walk through, we call it making rounds. I walk through the company, or I go to a job site if it's a construction company and things like that, and see people and just try to get to know them and interact with them, remind them who I am, remind them that what I'm here for. And I'm here for them, for their family, their people they care about. Could be anybody that's connected to them. If somebody goes in a hospital, they have an aunt or an uncle or a daughter or a son or a mom or dad goes in the hospital and having surgery, and they want somebody, they don't know anybody maybe, and they want to have somebody there, that's what we'll do. They can reach out to me. Unfortunately, sometimes it involves funerals, and I've done some funerals, I've done some weddings, and so it can be any number of things. And so I'll go and talk to people. And one of the things that there's three things that we stress. So when we sign up with a company, they know, everybody that gets introduced to the chaplain knows that we don't impose our faith on anybody. So in other words, if we want to talk about faith, it's by their permission. They invite me to talk about it, right? And it's confidential. So they can talk to me about how they feel about the boss. And I'm not going to go tell the boss. I don't go tell the boss anything. I don't go tell them, hey, I just talked to one of your people and they don't like your HR person, whatever. I don't go tell anybody that. So they know it's confidential. And there's a couple of exceptions to that. If somebody's a harm to themselves or others, or there's child abuse, I have to report those things. But it's confidential, and it's by permission, and they know that I'm not going to go down the faith road if they don't want to go that way. But I'll try to walk with them through whatever struggle they may be having.
That's awesome. Hey, thanks for watching this short with us today. And if you like it, check out our full episodes on our channel and website. We'll put those in the links below. And as always, Scott,
like and subscribe. Or subscribe and then like. Whatever order you want, really.
Whatever order you like.
Yeah.
Thanks.